So I'll turn this back on. All right, I have 11 a.m. Is that what you got?
I have 11.
Cool. All right, so let me just give a little introduction in case some of the people that have logged on haven't been to a fireside chat yet. So I'll give you a little bit of background about what that is. So the intention here is really to be able to bring together owners within the push press community that can share some of their experiences that they've had and use it obviously as a way to connect with one another, but also just to learn from one another's real life experiences and the journey that each person is taking. So today we get to sit down with Robert from All Fit Orlando, who's going to talk to us about his transition going from price-based selling to value-based selling. And the way this will work is I'm going to take him through a series of like an interview style Q&A session. It's about 10 questions in total. And then at the end, we'll actually open the floor up. So if anyone wants to ask questions, they can drop it into the chat box. And then Robert will have some time to answer questions that you guys might have as well. Sound good? Cool. Well,
Sounds
thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to do this. Wanted to start off with that. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So first question wanted to talk about was whether this decision to make this transition was something that just arose organically, or you got to a point where you purposely said, okay, this needs to happen.
Yeah, that's a great question. And of course, thank you so much for having me today. I am so
Yeah.
excited to be here and talk to as many people as I can about the transformation that I was able to make with All Fit Orlando last year and hopefully give some people some nuggets. So, to your first question, right? So, I would say it was December of 2021. So, it was December of 2021, and I was where most gym owners were. I was about to hit the 5-year mark for All Fit Orlando. And like most gym owners, I had this in my mind from the second that I opened my gym that I needed to grow to a certain number of members to reach the financial success that I thought that I would get from gym ownership. And what I had realized is after 5 years of chasing numbers and competing with people on pricing, that the numbers just weren't adding up for me. And that I was in a place where I I was in a place where I had more members, more coaches, more street cred. People knew who we were, but it didn't equate to more money and profits, and it definitely didn't equate to more money in the gym owner's pocket. And I had sat down with my wife and I had contemplated what if I just didn't see anything changing. And I knew that I had to change something. If I continued on this path of chasing numbers, I was just going to continue to have the same issues and still work harder and not get any more profitability from my business. So I sat down with my wife and I said, look, I've got to change something this year and I want to change a lot of things. And I also preface it with, it's going to cost some money, but it's not going to be easy. But I put a time limit on it. I said, look, I've been doing this for, at the time I've been in the fitness industry for 13 years now. I'm going on almost 15. But I had been doing this for so long and I had grown my gym to this point and I felt like I should be in a different place. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go all in on my business this year. And that was 2022. I said, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to change up some things. I'm going to bring in some more services and products. We're going to try to increase our revenue, try to get more money so that I could be in a place at the end of next year where I can say, hey, look, we're actually making money from this business now. Or, okay, I tried everything that I could and we're not making any money from this business. So we're either going to sell it and let somebody else take it over or just completely get out of it and I'll do something else. So that's kind of where I was.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because it sounds a little simplistic. Like when we're working with clients as coaches, we talk about when setting goals, making sure they're timely, right?
Right.
And then I think there's times where we probably struggle ourselves to do something similar. I love that you said, okay, I'm going to take a year to do this. And once I hit that mark, then we're going to turn around, observe the results, and analyze what's the best decision here. Because I think a lot of times we set goals that still have a little bit of a gray area, certainly with timing. And then we sort of, get months down the road and we're turning around wondering like, well, what's my decision now? Have I really made any progress? You don't have that hard line to turn around and say, okay, this is the day where we're going to sit down and talk about what progress we've made and where we should go from here. And I think that was, great that you just gave yourself that time limit of that year, to see where things were at.
Well,
So
sure, and it all comes down to those analytics, right? Like,
yeah,
I talk to gym owners all the time, and one of the things that I always love to say is, hey, we went to school for me, I went science and exercise and things like that, and we didn't go to school for business and analytics. So we get into the gym business, but then we don't know how to look at our analytics. And so when you start looking at those things, then you can set yourself timelines. Okay, these are the metrics that I'm going to focus on, and then we're going to give ourselves X amount of time to see if we've made any improvement on it.
yeah, absolutely. So you made this decision. What was the first step that you then took after coming up with this plan?
So the first thing that I did was I had read, I was doing a lot of research, and one of the things that really spoke to me, and I hope that this speaks and resonates with the other gym owners who are listening to this, and that is a very simple philosophy that a lot of large companies take. And that is, if you are in a certain if you are in a certain market, right, your goal as a company should be to not just acquiring as many clients as you can in that market, but it's also about how much you could get your clients to spend on your products and services in that market. So if you look at big box retailers, right, if you shop at Target and all these other things, they're sending you emails every day. It's not just about acquiring you as a one-time client. It's about how many times can I keep you coming. So somebody had pointed out to me, hey, look, man, when you talk about your average gym goer, your consistent, your person that comes in 2-3 times a week, has been coming in a year, 2 years, whatever. Think about all the things that these people spend their money on, right?
Yep.
It's not just a gym membership. They spend their money on healthy eating, snacks and resources, equipment, apparel. A lot of them have tried nutrition and have done different apps and nutritional resources. There's all these different things, supplements, product, all these things that people traditionally spend their money on. And what I said is, okay, well, if my clients are spending just their gym dollars with me, and then they're spending the rest of their fitness budget on another company for supplements, another company for apparel, another company for nutrition services. Heck, I even had people going to other people for personal training. I was like, I can't do this anymore, right? So
Yep.
my goal was, I've worked so hard to get these customers into my door. How many of these external services that they're spending their money on can I put under my roof and provide to them so that we get them not just spending on one product, but spending on multiple products and services?
Yep. Absolutely. So talk to us about some of the main changes that you implemented from there.
All right. So definitely not a plug, but I have to make it. Okay. The first thing was the nutritional piece. Okay. The nutritional
Sure.
piece was hands down one of the biggest game changers for us, because we had tried nutrition so many times, right? Like fitness, nutrition, they go hand in hand. Everybody knows that nutrition is the foundation of any fitness goal, right? The problem is that there's so much crazy information out there. There's fad diets and crazy things that people do. And then as gym owners, we don't have the time and the resources to really, really roll up our sleeves. Plus, we're not registered dietitians. So what we do is we try to rely on, I was really in what I call the challenge cycle, right? Like we would do 2 or 3 challenges a year. And what would happen is that we would do these challenges. We'd either try to run them on our own, which was a mess. If I look back at it compared to what we do now, complete mess and disaster. Or we would bring in a company that would just run the challenge for us, and that was it. And what happened is that you'd have these gym members who tighten up, right? And they would buckle down for a challenge. And then as soon as the challenge is over, we're not going to talk about nutrition. We're not going to talk about nutrition again until the fall. Good luck, you guys. You got it. And then they would fall off too, because there was no accountability and continued support. Anyway, enter Nicole Coyne and HSN. who also works with push press and has their stuff easily integrated with our push press products, which is also fantastic. Nick was actually the one who recommended HSN to me. So thank you, Nick, for that recommendation. But adding that nutritional piece with a company that was able to provide me with the training that I needed to execute not just challenges, but to execute actual nutrition coaching and services for my gym members. So having that piece, having, the resources and everything that I needed provided for me, that was just hands down instrumental into making that change, because now we went from being a gym that like dabbled in nutrition to being a gym where we can really help people with their nutrition one-on-one in our gym. We have products and services that are constantly happening in our gym, and people are always able to get access to that coaching at whatever level they are ready for. So that has been a huge part of that.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to point out, and I was thinking about this when you and I were initially connecting to go over prepping for this and just talking through, what your experience had been. And I think something that is valuable to point out is a lot of times, whether it's in mentoring relationships or programs we're doing or just talking to other owners, we do hear about, hey, there's opportunities to add revenue streams by doing something like nutrition or, adding on PT or maybe mindset coaching, whatever it might be, right? And
Mhm.
so we'll take those steps to kind of launch a program, but it's sort of, I'm going to use the word mediocre. I don't mean it in a, malicious way, but it's just sort of like you're halfway in, you're halfway out, and not for lack of wanting to do a good job, but you just don't, as you said, like you're not a registered dietitian. It's not exactly your wheelhouse. You don't have the expertise in creating a real structured program around that particular niche. And so then the results of it are also just kind of like mediocre, like kind of good, not that great. I thought it was really impressive when you talked about, taking that step to partner with another company and also being willing to take that risk of like, hey, I'm going to make a real investment into HSN or whatever it may have been, so that if we're going to implement this program, we're going to go all in with it and we're going to do it top notch. And as a result, the revenue, the results that you get from doing the program are also higher level, and you can see like the fruits of being willing to do that. And I think it's important to point that out, because I think a lot of times, as owners, we start something and we're like, okay, well, I know this could be important, but we don't necessarily have all the tools and resources to really implement it at the level that it deserves. And so I think it's important to encourage everyone, like, hey, be willing to look at other companies and other partnerships, and at least, grow your knowledge of those, so that you have the information to make an informed decision about what direction you want to take it in.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Something that I learned the hard way and now try to teach as many gym owners as I can is that you have to get out of your own way and you have to put your pride aside. As gym owners, as trainers, there's a certain level of pride that goes into, this is my business.
Sure.
I'm going to
Yeah.
do it this way and I know what's best for my business. But no offense to any of you out there, but you don't know what's best for your business all the time. Okay. If you look at the biggest companies in the world, they even hire consulting companies to come in and help them in areas that they are not doing well in. It is impossible as a gym owner to do everything that you need to support your gym and your members and to grow your business 100% effectively by yourself. You need to have help doing it. As I like to say, you can be a jack of all trades, but then a master of none. So would you rather
Yeah.
master what you do best? So for me, what I do best in my gym is I do best meeting new people and selling them on what we are doing and on the experience. And that's what I do best. So I put myself in that position. And then when it comes to nutrition coaching and mentoring and training and all that other stuff, I'll hire people that want to do a great job in doing that and let them focus on just those one things. So when you're talking about bringing in a nutrition company, right? I have a partner, Healthy Steps Nutrition, and they make sure that I'm provided with all the materials that I need to be successful and run this efficiently. They make sure that we are doing the right things and that our business is growing, and they're there to support and help not just me, but my staff. And that's what made it from going to be a mediocre program to being, okay, these guys are all about nutrition. And that is a huge cornerstone of what they do. And that you'll also see culture changes too, because when you have a gym that's been around 5, 10, 15 years, you have those OGs, those people who have been with you forever. And they're like, oh, they're going to do nutrition again. Yeah. And that's okay. Oh, here they go.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again where we're going to talk nutrition.
Right. Here's
Don't
the next
worry,
challenge.
that this will pass. And
Yeah.
then what happens is that all of a sudden your OG members, right? They're like, oh, this isn't going away. They're talking about nutrition every day. Wait, there's a nutrition board in here now. Now there's a daily nutrition question in the day. And then all of a sudden they start seeing these people who are coming into your gym from the very beginning, where you're saying, hey, we're not just a gym. We're here to support you and guide you through whatever you need. But let's talk about your nutrition. Is that on point as well? And then getting those people started with nutrition. And guess what happens? They change. Their bodies change and transform. So now you go 3, 6, 9 months down the road. And now these people who are like, oh, they're going to do that nutrition thing again. Don't worry, it's going to pass. Now they've been naysayers for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and they've seen all the people come in. They've seen your success board grow. They've seen people change. And then they might start looking at themselves in the mirror and go, wait a second, I've been doing this for 2 years and I work my butt off in here, but I don't have maybe nutrition is the missing piece. And next thing you know, they're sending you a text message. All right, tell me about this nutrition program.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned culture, so I'm assuming that that was also part of this shift that occurred. And was that also something that you purposely said, okay, we've got to figure out how we're going to make this transition with the culture of people that we already have here as well as incoming?
100%. Look, change is hard, right? Anytime that you have been, let me go back, right? And this will help start to transition us about like the pricing stuff. When you open up your doors, right? You open up your doors because you want to provide this great service to people and you want to get as many people as you can into your business as possible. And when you're a baby gym, just like when you were a baby trainer, and I'm speaking to the personal trainers out there, you will do things that will get you more clients and will get you where you want to go, but is it really what you really want to intend to be doing? For instance, when you're first starting out as a personal trainer, how many of you out there, hey, I can only train at 4 a.m. and you're like, but I need the client, right? But you don't want to go to work at 4 a.m., but you do it
Sure.
because you're
Yeah.
trying to build your book of business, right? Or, hey, I can't do it for 80 an hour, but could you do it for 50? And you're like, okay, fine. I need the work, right? So those same things translate into your gym, right? You open the doors and people, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. And you almost indirectly start catering to that core group
Yep.
of people. And next thing you know, you end up with a business where you kind of you as the owner have almost been indoctrinated as into the way people want to be treated and what they expect from your business, instead of you being the person to dictate those things and then create the culture around that. So change is hard, right? But
Yeah.
when you decide to make a change, you have to, as the owner, you got to roll your sleeves up. You have to get into your business and you have to be the leader of that change. So it was hard. It was, hey, we're going to have a staff meeting. It's getting all the trainers on board. It's saying, look, this is what we're doing. And we are not turning back. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. It's going to be uncomfortable. People are going to complain. You might even complain. Trust me that this is the way. And then you got to get in there and show them that you're willing to affect that change yourself. And then they will either get in line and come with you, or some people will get off the bus. And that's okay too. Whenever you're making change, you're going to have the people who jump right on board with you. You're going to have the people who are like, let's see how it goes. And then you're going to have people like, nope, this isn't my jam. And that's okay. If these people are not your jam and they hop off your bus, cool. It's fine. Because those people, bad seeds, those bad apples spoil a bunch. So ultimately, when you implement changes and people jump off the wagon, you just accept it and go, hey, that's part of the process.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious as well what sort of mindset shift you had internally when going through this process and trying to make this transition at the gym. What did that look like for you?
Yeah. So again, like knowing that this was my all-in effort. So saying to myself that I'm going to go all in, and that while being a leader in your business means listening to and being receptive to feedback and things like that, you also ultimately have to know that in your heart, if you know that this is the direction that you want to go with your business, and that you know that ultimately the end result of this will be the success that you want to, you almost have to put on what I call leader blinders, right? You have to kind of just stay focused on the goal and the vision, and not let that external noise. Don't let complaints from members, don't let complaints from staff, don't let those random text messages at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday. You know what, you guys know I'm talking to you, right? Don't let those knee-jerk react you into getting off course, right? People are very resistant to change. So you just have to keep your head down, you have to stay focused, and you have to, I always say, ask questions. When somebody says, well, I don't like this, right? Ask questions. Well, what is it that you don't like? Oftentimes you'll find that what they're saying they don't like is just they either don't understand or that they're uncomfortable, and you have to kind of help show them how getting out of their comfort zone will help them be successful. That's with your staff, and as well with your members and athletes.
Yeah, I love that, asking questions. So we've very briefly mentioned price. Did you change your prices once you made
Absolutely.
this decision? Tell me a little bit
Yes,
about that.
absolutely. All right. So uh, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but when I first opened up my gym, our unlimited membership was $69 a month. $69 a month. And we all do this math. Hey, I just need, I started really low and low overhead. If I just have 20 members at $69 a month, I'll break even.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody says I'm going to go into business so I can break even every month, right?
Yeah.
So, so, and again, it's just so silly to think about that. That's how I started, and that was my mentality. But it was a competition on price. I'm, for the record, in case you guys didn't know, I'm in Orlando. Orlando is a very saturated market. I could walk out of my gym and I could throw a stone. I could hit 5 CrossFit boxes, 2 F45s, 4 Orange Theories, 7 Eat the Frogs. There's literally 12 bars, 25 yoga studios. There's literally something fitness on every block and corner in Orlando. And the place that I had been working for, the last person that I worked for, one of the big complaints was price. Oh, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Too expensive. Okay, well, I'm going to go open up across the street and I'm going to go take all his members and I'm going to compete on price. Well, guess what? It was great. Hey, I got members, but I didn't make any money. And then because I wasn't making any money, I also wasn't able to provide people with a better service than what they were getting across the street from my competitor. So that started a vicious cycle, because once you start positioning yourself as, hey, I'm going to be the cheaper alternative, well, then also so is your offerings and your service as well is also a cheaper alternative. And eventually people will get to a point where their wallet versus what they want will kind of tip the scale, and they go, you know what, I'll go pay $50 more, but at least I get this, that, and the other thing over here, right?
Now, what kinds of objections did you get once you started to raise your pricing?
So, when I raised my pricing, I didn't get a lot of objections, because again, I felt really confident, and the way that I executed my price increase, through the help of, again, hiring coaches, hiring people to help me. I worked with a coach, Scott Carpenter from PT Legends, who was really, really helpful. One of the first things he told me was, you've got to raise your price. And we talked it through, and it was really simple, right? The people that have been with you for a long time, your loyal members, they want you to succeed in business. They do want you to succeed. And they also, they understand that pricing changes and that times change and inflation and all this other stuff, right? But where you could get in trouble is if you get too wordy and you leave too many openings, right? Think about, somebody reminded me, and I like to use this as an example. Think about Netflix, right? They raise their rates. I think Netflix started at $4.99. Now I think it's like $12.99, $14.99, something like that, right? Every time they raise their rate, here's their email to you. It goes like this: hi, your current rate of $7.99 a month, effective next month, will be $8.99 a month. We thank you for your continued service. That's it. Done. Right? You don't need to profess your love for them. You don't need to go into a length, oh, the cost of owning the gym has gone up and the paper. Nobody cares about that stuff, right? You just got to be very cut and dry. Hey, this is your current rate, effective next month. This is your new rate. Thank you so much for your loyal membership. We appreciate it. Done. Anybody who has a problem with that rate increase, and anybody who says to you immediately, okay, I'd like to cancel my membership because I can't afford this new rate, I'm going to say this, and I truly believe it. There was something else going on. Okay. If you're raising your rates $20, $30, $40 a month, and somebody's been loyal to your business for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and they say, oh, $20, $30, like that's it for me, I'm jumping. There was something else going on with them. Either they were unsatisfied with themselves, with your service, some way, shape, or form. And I say, look at that as a blessing, because those old G members, when they get those feelings and they're just kind of sticking it out, they're the ones who create that bad apple stuff in your gym, bad attitudes, and that just, it's a cancer. So look at that as a blessing. Okay, they're gone. All right, and they use that as an excuse. Anybody who has been loyal to you and just wants to know more, they'll reach out to you directly. Hey, Rob, I might have gotten 1 or 2 emails. Hey, Rob, I saw my rates going up. Is everything okay? Like, hey, is everything okay with the gym? Yeah, everything's fine. Hey, listen, our operating costs went up. I really love the set of coaches that we have. I want to give them a raise and make sure that everybody stays. And they're like, yeah, hey, no problem. And then there'll just be people who are like, yeah, that's fine. And they don't do that. Right. And they don't reach out at all. And you just move on about your business. And it can be that simple.
Yep. So in terms of value then, what did you feel was the value that you were able to offer that, these myriad of other gyms and competitors in the area couldn't offer, that you could speak to when it came to clients and new members?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the key, right? So bringing in nutrition, bringing back, actually, I revived my personal training program. So bringing back, nutrition, having personal and semi-private training, and then having that one-on-one coaching and mentorship program, having that makes me be able to tell somebody, hey, I'm a results-based gym. I'm not here to just sell you a gym membership for $49.99 a month and hope you never show up, but keep paying your bill. I'm here to
Sure.
actually make sure that you get results. So unlike anybody else in the industry, they can give you great workouts. They could give you fancy towels and shirts and fun heart rate monitors, but I can get you real results if you're really interested in making some changes. And here's what we're going to do for you. We're able to provide you everything that you need to be successful. We have one-on-one nutrition coaching. We have group fitness options, semi-private options, private options. Soon for us, we're going to have 24/7 access as well. And then on top of that, if you need more, our nutrition coaches will give you one-on-one mentoring and will make you accountable to making sure that you're successful, plus the InBody 270 scans, plus all the other things that we're doing. So really, when I talk to people who are interested in our gym, I really just focus on them and their goals and what they're trying to accomplish, and then trying to show them that the difference between us and any other cookie cutter fitness program is that we're going to put you in a situation that's going to make you the most successful based on where you're starting, what you need to be successful, and then making sure that we're checking in with you constantly to make sure that you're on that path to success. And that is it. My value is in results, not just in workouts.
Yeah, I love that. So we talked a little bit about, you updated your pricing.
Mhm.
You really brought in like a solid nutrition program. You
Mhm.
revamped one-on-one training, et cetera. I'm curious then how you had the bandwidth to be able to implement all of these changes. What did that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. Again, one of the great things about hiring coaches is that having somebody coach you, just like you coach other people, having somebody that's able to pull out and pull back and look at the big picture can help direct your attention to the right places, right? So for me, it was organizing myself and then understanding the things that I needed to do and the initiatives that I needed to oversee, assigning them the appropriate time values, and then calendaring that stuff in so that I was getting to it and I was putting it on my calendar. So it was there, lived there, I was always seeing it. It was blocking me off so people couldn't book me. And I was staying focused on the things that I needed to do. So that was important. And then also, right, finding my role. So where can I serve this company the very best? So for me, I got out of personal training. I got out of teaching classes, which I know for a lot of gym owners is super scary. Oh, what? But trust me, Okay. When you pull back from, having to coach 10 classes a week and, adding another 10 to 20 personal training sessions, and you pull yourself back and you allow yourself the ability to run your business instead of work in it, things absolutely change. And don't get me wrong, it was scary. And then the first time I had to pull up that new payroll, I was like, but again, if you put yourself in the right position as the owner, leader, CEO, whatever your position is, if you put yourself in the right place, then find people who who are going to be good at the other things, right? So for me, like I said, I like doing free intro sessions. I like meeting people. I like talking to people. I like finding out what's going on with them and setting them up in our programs and then turning it over, right? Hey, I'm going to give you a great trainer. Hey, I'm going to give you a great nutrition coach. And then in those different parts and pieces, right? Having HSN, I've got a monthly mentor that comes in and speaks to our entire team. I need to make sure that I have a meeting with them once a month and then I'm overseeing what they're doing. And then HSN steps in and also meets with us once a month to make sure that we're doing the right things, right? Then also overseeing the personal training, meeting, doing one-on-ones with our trainers. I mean, again, these are things that I could have never done before or had the time when I was
Sure.
actively coaching and training. So now I spend my days meeting with the nutrition team, meeting with my trainers, doing one-on-ones, meeting with other gym owners, and meeting with my coaches and mentors who are helping keep me on track as well.
So was there a period where you were just sort of grinding things out in order to get all of these changes implemented?
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole loves to tell the story about how when I first met her with HSN, I said, "Hey, look, so we're gonna do this, and I already marketed a challenge that starts in 3 weeks, so let's go." And she's like, okay, you're gonna have to really cram all this material. I said, you know what? Let's go." So yeah, when we first started this change of first adding the nutrition stuff, like I probably spent about 7 6 7 hours a day just consuming nutrition material, getting all my stuff together, working on the implementation, coming up with the game plan, then doing that first challenge and then rolling those people into ongoing coaching, which is where the money's at, guys. Like focusing on like your monthly recurring revenue and your average spend per member. Those are like the two biggest and then churn. Those are the three biggest key metrics that will help you grow your gym. So getting in there, rolling up my sleeves, meeting with people, implementing the nutrition stuff. And then for me, right, I always try to lead by the learn one, do one, teach one policy. So I don't ask anybody that works for me to do anything that I haven't done myself. And so I
Yep.
understand what they need to do. So for me, it was, yes, all right, I'm not coaching classes anymore, but hey, I'm taking on nutrition clients. So I took on nutrition clients and I was coaching people, right? Then once I did that, I started hiring people to replace me. Great. Now you can do this job. Same thing with the personal training and the semi-private training. Doing semi-private and overlapping training was a new thing for me.
Mhm.
That took a little, now I didn't want to get back into personal training, but that took me getting in there with my trainers and teaching them how to do semi-private and overlapping training and trying to explain to them how they'll make more money and how it's better for everybody because they won't book out these time slots for less and they can make more out of their hour. So getting in there and like rolling up your sleeves, going through grinding it out. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You just can't throw a bunch of money at problems and expect that they'll go away. You have to invest your money into products, services, and coaches that are going to help take your business from here to here. But you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work. Because if you're not willing to get in there and do it yourself, how would you expect anybody else to do it? So, yeah,
Yep.
it's all about
100%.
right now. Mhm.
So in terms of getting from point A to point B, how long-ish did that process take?
Yeah, so you know, I like to say that my results aren't typical, but we really grew our so just by adding the nutrition piece alone, within 6 months we were able to add an extra $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue to our gym, which doesn't seem like a lot, but listen, when you were down at $12,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue, and then you add 10,000 and it just came from nutrition alone, like that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it took me about 3 4 months to really kind of get that down. But by month 6, we had that extra $10,000 in nutrition coaching. And not just that, but people are getting results. People getting results starts bringing more people into the gym. Hey, I see so and so did it. Jack did it. Sally did it. Like, what are you guys doing over there? So it made us busier, which was great. Then, so that was step one. Then step two was, adding adding in that private and semi-private training, adding that layer, and then putting that all together and kind of trying to add like a couple of high ticket front end stuff as well, kind of took us from, okay, now we were doing, 22,000 to like, now that again, people will tell you that the results aren't typical, but because we had implemented the HSN stuff and we were already doing these on ramps, these 12-week on ramp programs, it was just a matter of adding in the personal training stuff, which you can charge more for, and then actually offering that to clients and having clients to opt into that and go, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Next thing you know, we went from 20,000 to 50,000, and it was like, it almost was like a blink of an eye. It was just insane.
Yep. So I'm curious what you feel the most challenging part of this process has been, now that you can sort of take a step back and reflect on what that transition was like.
Yeah, I mean, probably the most challenging part of all of this is the stuff that we talked about previously. It's about getting that buy-in from staff and from athletes, but staying steady the course, right? That was probably the hardest part, because I had trainers who were like, I don't get this. I don't understand this. How am I going to make more money doing this? I don't believe you. You have, people are like, what do I need to do nutrition for? Keto is the way to go. I've been doing it forever. Look at me. So it's hard to or implement changes, and then people start jumping up and down and going, I don't like this, I don't, and just keeping those blinders on and saying, no, I know that this is the way. And now, a little over a year removed from all of this, those coaches now are making more money than they've ever made before, and they're super happy. They'll never say, well, thanks for, and then they'll never say that, but they're happy, they're making more money. I don't have a revolving door of coaches. They come and they stay forever. um my culture has changed. The athletes who used to jump up and down and make noise about the changing in programming and nutrition stuff, and now their bodies are changing and they're feeling better. And you get these random text message now on Sunday night at 11 o'clock are, hey, I just want to let you know the last 3 months have been amazing. Ever since I started doing nutrition, I've actually seen real changes in my body. Thank you so much. So now those are the messages that I get. But yeah, the hard part was like keeping those blinders on, keeping your head down, and knowing that the changes that you're going to make will work. You just have to stay the course.
Yeah. And I feel like that, sounds a little cliche, but I also think it's important to remember that growth isn't linear, and it's not like you make a decision and you're going to go from point A to point B and it's all just going to be this, one way journey. There's going to be challenges and setbacks. And just because that exists doesn't mean that you shouldn't follow through. In many cases, it's just part of the growing pains. And in other cases, it also may mean that you are observant of it. You analyze, okay, do we need to make a small pivot here? But doesn't mean abandon the course, and just decide, oh, no, this wasn't a good idea. And I do think it's important just to remember that that's also part of the journey as well. You're going to have those little setbacks.
Well, what you just said is exactly what we tell our clients. And I love to remind gym owners of this. What we tell our clients and athletes is this: your success is not a linear path. There's going to be some bad days. There's going to be some struggles, but I'm going to be here to support you, because I promise you that consistency and hard work is the key to being successful. Now just hold a mirror up and say those exact words to yourself, because that is it in this business too. It's so silly that that's what we tell our clients, but then some of us don't practice that in our own business. That is it. Hard work, consistency, right? And understanding that everything's not going to, your growth isn't going to be a linear line. There's going to be some bad days, but stay the course, stay consistent. And when you can't be motivated, stay consistent, because consistency breeds motivation, right? So we tell our clients all the time. Tell it to yourself, and I guarantee you, you'll make some changes and it'll be great.
I love it. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then if people want to go ahead and drop any questions into the chat box, they can go ahead and do that, and we'll go through some of those. This one's just a little bit more open-ended. Is there any additional feedback that you feel like would be valuable to share with the group before we open the floor up to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this would be like a good time for me to show you those couple of slides that I prepared for everybody. Because
Yep.
when we talk about value pricing, value versus price, I want to make sure that everybody can kind of understand where I'm going with this. So hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yep. I
And
can see it.
yeah, so listen, this is where I used to be, right? This is what everybody does. I'm going to drop my price and try to increase volume. A lot of gym owners have heard the number 100 or 150 or 200 or 250 members, right? We all have that. But here's what happens: that math doesn't add up for us. And this is what I had to realize as well, right? If I'm competing on price and trying to make my money by volume, right? I'm going to increase the number of members, but in order to service those members, I need more staff. More staff, more members equals more problems. More staff, more
Mhm.
members, more problems equals more space, administrative stuff, costs, expenses, churn, and it goes on and on. It's a vicious cycle, right? So what we try to do is I try to increase my price and not focus so much on volume, focus on quality and actual results. And that makes all the difference in the world, because then you don't need as many members, you don't need as many staff, you don't have as many problems because people are successful and they're happy. You don't need as much space, and you don't get as much churn either, because when you're providing value, accountability services, all that other stuff, you're recognizing and identifying problems before they happen. When people sit down with me at the gym and they're coming in for the first time, one of the things that I tell them is that the difference between us and any other program that you go to is that, because oh, is there contracts? We can't. Listen, I'm going to show you exactly where you can find all those things on our website, but you're never going to need them. And you're not going to need them because I'm going to know if you're not coming to the gym, and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to talk to you and we're going to have a conversation. And if it's not working out for you, if I can't find a solution, we're just going to go about your day. We're never going to need those things because I'm going to know what's going on with you, because I'm in touch with you. I'm in contact with you. I'm here to get you results, and I'm going to make sure that I'm checking in with you every step of the way. So more volume, low price, mo problems, not mo money. All right. But this is just a slide that I use going off of 8% churn. So that's a standard rate. Some of you may have a higher churn rate. Some of you may have a lower churn rate. If you don't know your churn rate, you need to. Okay. And something that I learned very, very early on in this transformation is you need to understand your metrics and you need to work on those things. 3 things, right? Monthly recurring revenue, your average revenue spend per member, and your churn. Those are the 3 metrics that if you focus on will get you much increased revenue. All right. So this is how high volume taps you out. All right. If you think about it this way, if you have 100 members and you have 8% churn, you have to bring in 8 new clients a month just to break even. All right. We're talking, these are just break even numbers. If you have 150 members and you have 8% churn, you need to bring in 12 new clients a month. And if you have 200 members, you at 8% churn, you need to bring in 16 new clients a month. Guys, this is just to break even. Okay. I used to be that gym owner who didn't pay attention to my metrics. And I would say to myself, oh my God, I have 100 new members and I brought in 8 new clients. What a great month. Yeah, but I had 8% churn. I didn't gain any new traction, right? I'm just spinning my wheels.
Yeah.
All right. At some point, you're reaching equilibrium, right? Your acquisition rate versus your churn rate, it evens itself out. And then this is me. All right. This was me. I was the hamster on the hamster wheel, right? Everything kind of just moved in unison. So if you can see me, right? Your number of members increase, but your cost increases. And this is your piece of the pie that you go home with, right? More members, that increases. The piece of the pie stays the same. So that was the hamster wheel that I was on. So it was only until I realized that I was on that hamster wheel and made a decision to get off of it, that was how I was able to realize that I needed to stop focusing on numbers and start focusing on adding value and getting the people that I have under my roof to spend more, not just out of greed, but also by providing these services that are going to help them succeed and be successful. So that hamster wheel for me now looks like a wheel of people coming in, getting success, telling their friends, bringing them in, and around we go. And that's my hamster wheel, and it's a much better one.
Yeah. Let's all get on that hamster wheel.
Right.
All right, awesome. So as I said, I'll open the floor up in case anyone wants to drop any questions into the chat. We'll hang out here for a couple minutes. And if not, then we'll give people some time back in their day. Thanks a lot, Robert.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I love it. I will add, while we're waiting for some Q&As, definitely some shout outs, some companies that I have worked with that I highly recommend. First and foremost, of course, I talked all about HSN and bringing in a great nutrition program. They do amazing things. If you don't have a great nutrition program and you want it, you should want it. Go talk to those people. Okay. Second, you heard me talk about Scott Carpenter and PT Legends. They really helped me with my overlapping and personal training, increasing my pricing. They have been instrumental in helping me create a high ticket front end offer. And his book, High Ticket for Affiliate Gyms, was a book that I read that absolutely changed my life. And I will, if anybody reaches out to me afterwards, I'll give you guys a free copy of that. And then finally, I know everybody, this is always a hot button topic, but man, if a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Another thing that I did, guys, is I have paid leads. All right. I've paid advertising through Facebook and Instagram, and that stuff is important. If you have nobody to talk to and sell your gym to, how you go get new clients. So Lasso, you see them do a lot of stuff with Push Press as well.
Yeah.
I highly recommend those guys at Lasso. They do great work. So those are my
Awesome.
plugs.
All right. So first question we have here, how much were you charging for InBody, and was it a monthly charge?
Yeah, great question. So when I first took in the InBody, I was charging $20 for a single scan and 30 for two. But I'll be honest with you, I stopped charging for my InBody and just use it now as a metrics tool. For me, like every opportunity that I have to show somebody a metric, something that they can measure and then set goals off of, to me, it's worth more than the $20 I would charge him for. So I initially started charging for InBodies, and then now I use them on a regular basis. Come on, let's go. Because there's nothing better than having somebody hop on that InBody and see a down, up, down, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. Also just opens you up to big conversations. If there's something that isn't what they were expecting, you have a whole conversation from there that you can go off and then create a prescriptive model in terms of what the next steps might be. And it's a lot of good opportunity there.
Every opportunity you get to talk to an existing member is an opportunity for you to sell them additional products. So if you're offering an InBody scan monthly for somebody, say that, they listen to your whole spiel, like, no, man, I just want workouts. I don't need your nutrition. I don't need anything. And they hop in, they do your workouts, and every month you're meeting them for a quick 5-minute InBody scan before a class, right? And they're going, and then all of a sudden, nothing happens, right? That's a great opportunity for you to have a conversation and say, well, Tim, tell me about your nutrition. Because if you're working out 5 days a week and you're not getting the changes that you want to, the elephant in the room is nutrition. So it gives you another opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. So how did you package nutrition services on top of your group class memberships?
Yeah, great question. So we created a hybrid membership. So there's a couple of different ways that people can get involved with our nutrition program at our gym. Number one, they do the challenge. We only do 2 challenges a year. All right. We're not a challenge program anymore. So we do 2 challenges a year. They come in through challenge. And then we, at the end of a challenge, we offer them ongoing coaching. So they've done a couple of weeks of group stuff, and then we offer them an ongoing coaching. And then there's a small upsell there. If they'd like to get some real customized stuff moving into ongoing coaching, I'll sell them like a consult hour where they can sit down with a nutrition coach and like really dive into their stuff. But as far as like, so that's one way. The second way they come in is initially, right? They do what we call our 12-week transformation program or our on-ramp program, where they come in and they do that combined with either group fitness, private training, or semi-private training. And that goes for 12 weeks. And then after that, they either make a decision if they want to continue working at that level or what other services. And again, it's all about conversations. Where do you feel you're going to be the most successful? Do you think you need continued nutritional guidance? What about the private training? So there's always another touch point there to talk to them about where they want to go with that stuff. And then the third way is they just come in straight up and I just want nutrition stuff. So we sell nutrition a la carte. We sell it as a hybrid membership. And then we also do it twice a year as group, as a group challenge. And then, thanks also to HSN, we're also working with a couple of businesses in our area where we do corporate wellnesses, and we actually go out to their businesses and run challenges and do like monthly talks and things like that. So that's been a huge revenue booster as well.
That's awesome. All right. Another question we have here is, do you have multiple locations?
So that's another great question. So before COVID, I did have multiple locations, and then we condensed and kind of just solidified into one location. Now I am expanding into multiple locations, but not because I need more size. one thing that I have learned is that you don't need a bigger gym to create yourself the value and the money that you want to make from your business. You just have to add value to it, right? But for me, it's just a matter of I'd like to expand into other territories. So that's what we're going to do.
All right. Um, One person asked here if they can get a copy of that book that you
Absolutely.
mentioned. Yep,
Hmm.
I think you mentioned you have digital copies of it.
Hmm.
Also, what's the Facebook and Instagram paid lead company that you use?
Yes, it's called Lasso, Lasso, Lasso. If you guys are in the Push Press group, then you already are familiar with these guys. I will tell you, so I'm in a saturated market. They generate me about 120 leads a month. That's great. And listen, guys, their leads are leads. They're not all going to be walking in the front door with a credit card saying, "Hey, I saw your ad, sign me up," right? Like that. That's not how that works. But I have Grow and I have all the push press services. So what's great is that these leads come in, they get automatically nurtured. And by the time they get to me, they've either got a discovery call booked or a free intro session booked, or they just need a little extra. They're almost there that I just got to jump in and kind of send them another text message or two to see if I can get them in something. And then if I don't, no problem. I send them into a workflow that will nurture them for up to 2 years. So there's not such a thing as a bad lead. They're just a lead that's not ready yet. And that's okay. No problem. But hey,
Awesome.
120 people, fresh new people to have an opportunity with every month compared to I was trying to generate organically. What did I get? Maybe 3 or 4 people a month. So huge
Yeah,
difference.
that's
Mhm.
huge. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this question's two different parts, okay? First one, you mentioned HSN. I may have missed it in the beginning, so just would you mind sort of touching again on what that is?
Yeah, Healthy Steps Nutrition is a nutrition company that will essentially train you and your staff on how to administer real, whole, holistic, and easy to follow nutrition for your athletes. And it's amazing. So not only do you get trained, but they provide you with content, marketing stuff, done for you weekly emails, all kinds of resources on how to run challenges. And then they don't just train you and say, go, they're with you every month. We have a meeting. They're making sure that we're doing the things that we need to. And the best part about it is that the stuff that they do and how we implement it to our athletes is so simple that you can provide nutritional support to anybody with any schedule. You know, I've got airline. Oh man, I'm an airline pilot. I'm never here. So what? You eat, right? They're like, yeah, okay, cool. Then I can be your nutrition coach, right? Oh man, I'm traveling for work for the next month, so I'll get started next month. You're gonna eat, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I could be your coach while you're traveling because I should be nutrition. It's so funny that people think that nutrition has to be something, it has to be all or nothing. I'm either like sitting at home, meal prepping all my food, and all I'm eating is meal prep food all day, every day, or I'm not doing nutrition. Right.
Yeah.
That's not it at all. So they teach you how to teach people that you could do something as simple as staying on track by doing simple holistic things like drinking water and getting plenty of sleep, and then making good choices with your food in any situation. And then the most important thing that we do is we hold people accountable to things. So
Yep.
we create daily habits and routines for them, and then we hold them accountable. And it's really simple. We have an app, and then you can weekly check in with people via Zoom. Thanks COVID, and everybody Zooms now. So
Yeah.
it's really nothing. And the support and the guidance that they give you is fantastic.
Awesome. All right, part two of that same question. This is a good one. Hiring coaches. Did
Yeah.
you train up athletes to coaches or hire from the outside? And I'm curious
Nice.
how long, if you hired from the outside, what that process was like.
Yeah, so I have a combination of people that we've hired from the outside and then athletes that we have hired from within. And I'll be honest with you, I want to say that the best all around coaches are the ones that we promote from within because they already know your culture. They understand the client experience.
Sure.
I currently, every nutrition coach that's on my team and half of our actual coaches and trainers were athletes that worked out in our gym. And it's great because you don't have to train them on culture. You don't have to train them on the client facing stuff because they already get it. They were already a fan of what you were doing, and that's why they're now working for you. So to have them provide that client experience is great. Now, when I hire externally, right, gymjobs.io, great thing that Push Press implemented last year, and I love it. I also do the regular Indeed stuff as well, and I actually posted on my website. I actually have a join our team link where anybody who's interested will fill out their information and put their upload their resume, and it'll come directly to me. We're always hiring because I think that it's important to always be looking for the very best people to work in your gym. So anybody who's interested, I'll always check a resume and I'll look. When I hire from outside, it's important for me to have them. My process is cool, great, come in, do a workout with us, feel the vibe, get the culture. Cool. Do you like that? Does that vibe with what you're cool? Great. Then move them on to the next step. The next step would be to have them shadow, right? And shadow coaches and get in there. And then the final process would be after they've gone through all of that, they've taken a class, they've shadowed a few, they kind of understand, then it's, do you want to do this? Do you feel like you're a good fit here? And they're like, yeah. And then I would start moving them on to a formal interview process. And then if we hire them, then there's, a certain regimen that they will follow before they actually become full-fledged coaches.
Awesome. All right, last couple questions here, more specific to your workflows. Do you have a snapshot of your workflows so that they're plug and play? You mentioned a 2-year nurture workflow. Is it possible to get that template?
So I hate saying that to you, but all of these workflows are thanks to my amazing company that I work with, Lasso. So that's one of the benefits of working with a company who does your paid advertising for you, is that they will also deploy your CRM stuff. Because here's the thing, guys, having leads is great, but they say that the average person needs to see something 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 times before they make a decision. So it is impossible for you as an owner to remember to check in with a lead every couple of days when they're hot, and once a week when they're lukewarm, and then once every couple of weeks when they turn cold. There's no way you can remember that, especially if you have 100 leads coming in every month. They just go, they go to the bottom of your pile and you forget about it. So having a grow and then having a workflow that will nurture them throughout all these different phases is so important. And the fact that it was already done for me made it even better, right? Like, hey, I started, they turned my ads on, next thing you know, I had workflows. And not only did they provide me with workflows that helped nurture those clients, but they also provided me with workflows that helped reduce my amount of no-shows, because there's a great system that they deployed, which makes people confirm, then reconfirm. And there's a whole system that's in place where these people book a random appointment on Facebook and then we never hear from them. An hour out, we just cancel the appointment because they're not going to show up, right? People who are really going to come and engage with you, they'll respond to a text message. Yes, I'm coming. Thank you so much. If they don't, you don't hear from them, then it sends me an alert. I cancel the appointment. Only once did somebody go, hey, you canceled my appointment, I was coming. I was like, well, you didn't respond to the text message. Like, well, I didn't think it mattered. Bro, it mattered.
Yeah.
Right? My time's important. So yes.
I love that. Way to hold the line.
Right?
Respect that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gotta have those boundaries.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
else?
I think that is all the questions that we have, and we're pretty close to time here. Couple reminders: a recording of the webinar will be available once we're all buttoned up. And there's also a short survey for the people that logged on that if you don't mind filling out when you're done, very short, and it's really trying to get a feel for what future topics we can host for these fireside chats so people get the most out of it. So please take a minute to fill that out. And other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed this. Robert, thank you for spending so much time going through this. I loved it. I think it's something that will resonate with a lot of the other Push Press clients out there. And I hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah, you guys reach out to me. Feel free if you have any questions. Find me Facebook, Gmail, Instagram, and the Push Press stuff. I love talking to you guys.
Sweet. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.